The steps I took to lose over 45 pounds, beat my emotional eating and stress drinking. Hey team, and welcome to this week's of The Inspired Show, the show that is dedicated to helping you become that best version of yourself, physically as well as mentally. Before we delve into this week's episode, if you're not done this already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash a like on this video and share it with somebody that may benefit as well. Down below, we've also linked our social media pages where we post content every single day on helping you become the best version of yourself. And if you need additional support, we've also linked in our exclusive community that is full of tons of resources to help you reach your goals, from meal plans, home workouts, gym workouts, emotional eating toolkits, stress busting management, plus all the support through our exclusive Zooms inside our community. This week's episode is about my journey and how I lost over 45 pounds in 180 days, but also conquered the emotional eating and stress drinking. And I took a very specific process in order to do this, because like many of you guys, I'd always struggled with my weight. I would lose weight, I'd regain it. I'd lose weight, I'd regain it. I would never maintain the loss until I started addressing the core issues, which were my emotional eating and stress drinking. So I'm going to go through the exact steps that I did to overcome that. And it all started off with why. Why was I wanted to change? Why was it so important to me? In the past, I'd always wanted to lose weight because I wanted to look a little bit better, and I wasn't very happy with having a massive belly, but that was very much surface level reasons as to why I wanted to change. And when push came to shove, it never kept me where I wanted to long term. So I started to get really clear on what it meant to not only lose weight, but be that best version of myself. I started to look at my life, my relationships, my productivity, and how it was actually impacting my life at the moment. So when I was at my heaviest and at my lowest, I found that I was very much low in confidence. I was always covering up, wearing baggy clothes. I would avoid taking my children swimming because I didn't want to be seen with my top off. I would avoid being intimate with my partner, and I wouldn't have the confidence to be that best version of myself. Energy was at an all-time low. I wasn't energized to go and do the things that made me happy. When I was with my family, I was there, but I wasn't actually there. I was just very tired, and sleep was very poor as well. And it was having a massive knock-on effect on my relationships, where quality time wasn't where it needed to be. And I realized that it wasn't making me happy, and it was making me quite upset. And I thought about the person I wanted to become. Who was that future version of myself? What did I want my life to look like? What was it I wanted to be in terms of my confidence, the time with my family, where I wanted to go in life? And once I started to visualize this future version of myself, that allowed me the inspiration to keep going with the going gets tough, because there will be times in your journey when you want to give it and you want to give up. But having an anchor in terms of a clear reason to change and understanding why you need to change is super important. So I always started off with that, and that's what I teach my clients as well. Secondly was identifying my bottlenecks. Like I said, I could lose weight, but I'd always regain it. And if you're watching this and you've struggled with your weight, you've probably lost weight in the past, but you might have regained it. So it's about understanding what is the reasons for that. And for me, my bottlenecks were the emotional eating and stress drinking. I was using it as an emotional crutch. So anytime life got stressful, it got hard, I would either turn to alcohol or turn to food as a way to make me feel better. And it was great. In the moment, it would make me feel really good. It would relax me, it would unwind me, it would taste nice, and it'd feel like all my problems would melt away. But the knock-on effect of that would be the overwhelming sense of guilt, shame, overconsumption of calories, feeling low on energy, poor sleep. It was detrimental, and that's what was taking me back to the person that I used to be, that I didn't want to be anymore. So I had to put things in place to overcome these bottlenecks. Once I started putting things in place to overcome these bottlenecks, it made my journey so much easier to achieve, but also maintain as well. So with regards to my emotional eating and stress drinking, it was identifying the stresses, having better ways to deal with stresses, and building up new behaviors around that. And bottleneck can be different for different people. For some people, it might be their boundaries, it might be their habits, it might be their sleep. But if you take time to identify that and put the work in to address those, it's going to be a complete game changer for you. The next part of my journey was being realistic, understanding that it wasn't going to change overnight and it was going to take a little bit of time. And I was always that impatient person. I'd want to be losing weight yesterday, and when I wasn't seeing it, I would more often than not give up. I would get frustrated. So understanding that it was going to take a little bit of time, but that's okay. And if it takes a little bit of time, it means it's more worthwhile. And from there, I had to put the mechanisms in place in order to facilitate the fat loss itself. And that was through creating a calorific deficit through my nutrition and maintaining my daily movement. Movement-wise, I've always been pretty active. I've always worked out, I've always had a high step count, so that in itself wasn't a major issue. And I actually believe that when it comes to losing weight and dropping body fat, the exercise itself doesn't really have that much of an impact. Yes, it'll contribute, but not as much as we think. So for me, it was more so controlling the food, and that's where a lot of people really struggle. And like many people, I would always starve myself, typically Monday to Friday, and then I'd be binging on the weekends. So I had to kind of get my head around actually eating more and looking at food differently and looking at it as fuel for my body, nourishing my body, and giving my body what it needs to not just survive, but to also thrive. So at the start of my journey, I started off with 3,600 calories. And then as I got leaner and lighter over the course of my journey, I started to gradually reduce it to keep that momentum going. Now, if you don't know how many calories you should be consuming, then make sure you check out exclusive community, because inside our exclusive community will not only help you work out your calories, but make sure there's sufficient amounts for you as well. And that is linked down below. Now, these are the exact steps that I took. And I guarantee you, if you take these steps as well, not only will you see results, but it'll be long-lasting results as well. So hopefully you found this helpful, you found it insightful, and it can help you on your journey as well. Now, don't forget, if you've not done so already, subscribe to this episode. Make sure you like it, share it, and if you need any more help and support, utilize the links down below.